Portal is gaming's feminist masterpiece.
Well, shit. Guess I'm making a Gamergate video then.
There is more than enough evidence to support a thoroughly feminist reading of Portal.
A feminist reading? I thought feminism was just the belief in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. I mean, that's the dictionary edition we're constantly getting lobbed at us. Where's the room for a feminist reading in that? I asked a feminist friend of mine. Yes, I have a feminist friend. You can't be mad at me. Some of my best friends are feminists. But I asked a feminist friend of mine to give me a definition of feminism before I made this video. And here's what she came up with. Feminism is a discipline that studies gender-determined and sexuality-based socio-political power imbalance from a female gender perspective. Is that excellent or what? See, in order to be my friend, you can be a feminist, aka wrong, but what you can't be is dishonest. And do you see how that definition makes sense with the idea of a feminist view of something? Do you see how the dictionary definition makes no fucking sense with those sorts of things, much less the concepts of rape culture and patriarchy? None of what you're talking about makes sense with the belief in social and political and economic equality of the sexes bullshit. Now, to be fair, this PBS guy has not, as far as I know, done that dictionary lobbying tactic that I'm decrying here. Even if other similar shows that on PBS have, doesn't mean he necessarily supports it. So, this might not be a contradiction. But that might have actually been an intentional move on his part. You see, everything that he's about to call feminist has nothing to do with equality, and everything to do with hating men. Now, you might think that I'm overreacting and exaggerating here, but just listen to how off the bat he justifies calling Portal feminist.
We already know that it features a cast of no-nonsense kick-butt women. Even the adorable little turrets will kill you with kindness.
I don't hate you.
Meanwhile, the men of Portal don't fare nearly as well. Wheatley has been compared to the archetypal Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, jealous boyfriend type. Cave Johnson is the father of all evils, and there's even a guy named Ratman. Ratman.
Yes, that is what is required to make a piece of media feminist. Not just some decent female characters, but also the most loathsome, unappealing, evil male characters you could possibly muster. Now, I mention again that this might not be a contradiction, and he may be totally in favour of a definition of feminism that is an anti-male movement, and say that that's just fucking super.
Also, it was made by a feminist. Kim Swift has been more than outspoken about the need to get more young women involved in game making.
Well, there was an entire team working on Portal, and Kim Swift doesn't even have a writing credit. But let's ignore that for now. Is she a feminist? Well, I've looked it up, and I can't find her saying it. But maybe she is, and I just haven't found that particular quote. But what she definitely isn't is a feminist in the modern conception of the word. Here's a quote from her. It's from the article that you posted a screenshot of. So, ladies, my call to arms is this. Be visible, be outspoken, be strong, be smart, be kind, be everything that the younger versions of us could have pointed to and proudly said girls make games too. Well, that's certainly not the way I'd put it as an egalitarian, but it's not particularly objectionable. It sounds, at most, first-wave feminism. It's all about telling women that they can do whatever they want, and unlike third-wave feminism, which is all about telling women they can do nothing that they want because the evil patriarchy is keeping them down. For those who don't know, the patriarchy is feminism's version of the devil. Anything bad that happens to women is all about the patriarchy and its evil meddling, and nothing to do with those women's personal decisions. Notice that Kim's quote there doesn't even fit in the same universe as the patriarchy. If she does call herself a feminist, I imagine it's more in the same way that Based Mum calls herself a feminist.
I think it's safe to say that Portal is feminist.
Yeah, it might have been intended as a feminist game. I don't know what was going on in the minds of the developers when they were making it. But the amount you're having to reach in order to make it sound like a feminist game, I wouldn't go so far as saying it's safe to say.
And I'd even go so far as to call it a feminist masterpiece in its own right. I'll admit that's a pretty high bar.
Is it that high of a bar, though?
Masterpiece implies it sits alongside monumental feminist works like Faster Pussycat Kill Kill and The Handmaid's Tale.
Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. I mean, I'll leave The Handmaid's Tale alone, but this is the poster for Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Yeah, I rest my fucking case.
But just take a look at two of the main characters. The important thing about Shell is that she's a first-person silent protagonist. According to Portal's writer Eric Walpole, she was created as a player surrogate, a complete blank slate you impose your own viewpoint on.
Yes, the ideal feminist character is no character. And I think that there's a very good reason for this. You see, no character could ever live up to all of the things that a feminist would want them to be. They'd have to be a powerful woman and yet imply that women have no power. They would have to break gender stereotypes and yet still be fully feminine. They would have to be flawed and believable, yet not imply that women can have flaws. Can you see how much of an absurd combination of bland and nonsensical this would be? So no, it's better to just imply that such a character could exist without ever actually exploring what that would entail.
Portal was a pack-in with the orange box, where all the other first-person silent protagonists, if you're sensing a theme here, were male. It's sneaky, to say the least.
No, to say the least would be to say nothing.
Naturally, most people automatically assumed that they would be playing as a dude.
No, I didn't. I didn't assume I was playing as a male or a female. I didn't even think about their gender. Okay, hold on there, PBS. Quick word to the audience. Right now, pretty much every feminist watching this is saying bullshit at their screen as loud as they possibly can. Because they can't believe for a second that someone's mind could not be constantly on gender politics. In their minds, it's omnipresent. Everything is about gender. It's why they think that the world is so full of sexism, because if everyone thought like them, it would be.
And this sets up this beautiful moment when you're given the portal gun, blast a few holes in the wall, and see your character for the first time. Surprise, you're a woman.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
As Jen Frank wrote in Kill Screen, Shell is a feminist character because she's confronting an experience or presumption you bring into the game. She's opposing whatever you thought you would be.
Assuming what you thought she would be was a specific gender. Because you can't stop constantly thinking about what gender everything is. I swear, it's people like you are the reason that in Spanish we have male books and female tables.
So Shell is a potent, powerful illustration of how certain types of games are incredibly male-centric, as I've discussed many times before.
And I'm sure you will enjoy discussing it time and time again to come, but I've already made the point about how obsessed you are with gender. I want to make the other point now, the Gamergate point. Games tend to be marketed towards men, and catered towards men, because mostly men buy them. It is hilarious to me hearing feminists talk about this like it's a problem. Hey guys, you know that thing that is predominantly bought by one demographic? Well, you'll never believe this, but the companies making that product have started catering to that demographic. Isn't that evil? No. No, that's capitalism. What are you, a fucking commie? Oh god, you probably are.
The other half of the equation, though, is GLaDOS, Shell's femme-robot tormentor. She's the victim of institutional sexism.
Jesus Christ, do SJWs get a fucking cookie every time they misuse the word institutional? Okay, sorry, you haven't misused it yet. Just go ahead, I'll be here self-medicating.
The way engineers sought to control GLaDOS is a familiar response from men to what they perceive as the misbehavior or irrational thinking of women.
What? No, they sought to control her because she was the out-of-control AI that Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk warned us about. Whatever gender politics argument you were trying to make here, you have failed at making it.
Even speculation that GLaDOS's robotic armature was built to resemble a woman in bondage. So in that light, you kinda understand why she, tried to kill everybody.
Okay, nope, that's all I can do for today. If you want to continue torturing yourself, link in the description to the full video. I don't recommend it, and I did go through everything of substance anyway. Now, you might have noticed that a few times during this video response, I used an assumption that this guy would define feminism in that typical dictionary-thumping, equality of the sexes, two-faced way. Now, that would of course result in a terrifying list of contradictions given what he was saying there. But there's always the other option, that he would define feminism in a way that would be totally consistent with all of the sexist fucking things that he said, and openly defend that definition. That is fucking terrifying. Thank God I have this companion cube to hug.